live, laugh.
Are watching or listening, hopefully you're doing one of those to Live, Laugh, Lariat. I don't know another way that you could do it. We are joined live from Chocolate City, from the country of chocolate. We've got Fly Manny Lo. How are you doing today, Manny?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Doing great, doing great.
Pretty great.
We appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today. I think what we kind of like to focus on in these is just like where your story with wrestling began. Usually it began like as a kid watching it. But before we get started, where can everybody find you on social media?
At Fly Manny _03.
Awesome.
Was Fly Manny taken?
Nah, I just
Okay.
so that I was young. Yeah.
Is 03 your birth year?
Yeah.
Oh,
my
I'm
God.
old. Oh my God. That's okay.
I mean,
you're killing it.
It's wild to
Appreciate it.
think about like 2000s people be like being adults and like running around and like being very successful. So that's awesome.
There you go. So we'll, I guess, start at the beginning because that's always a solid place to start. Where does wrestling start for you? And where was there a wrestler you instantly got attached to? Like where's your origin story here?
I'll say back, I don't know a year, but my cousin used to be really big into wrestling, and I gravitated towards like Rey Mysterio and Jeff Hardy, but I never watched it for real. Like,
Yeah.
never watched Raw or nothing, so I only watched it when I was in Maryland. And then he stopped watching it, and then I started watching back in like elementary school during the trash times of WWE, like Ryback era, and I was just watching SmackDown because I couldn't stay up late night on Monday. So
yeah,
I don't know how I like wrestling, but I do. So yeah, I love it.
Is it like the theatrics of it, or are you just like really into the in-ring stuff?
At first it was just because Jeff Hardy was really cool, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to dance like him. And then I don't know. I still can't I think it was probably just Randy Orton Sheamus feud that kept me watching.
Yeah.
And Daniel Bryan got me screaming yes around the house. So
I WrestleMania 30 was in New Orleans, and that's where I'm from. And like to be a fan of wrestling at the time was wild because it's when everyone kind of knows how wrestling works and like how even the booking of it works, and the fact that he was able to transcend the way he did was just wild as a fan. And like that's part of why I got hooked, so I can definitely understand like that time period, like definitely getting you into it.
Yeah,
sure. And I just looked it up. Christian, how old were you for that?
How old was I? What year is that? Like 2013,
2014.
That I was like 16 or something.
Okay. It's like the perfect age for the fan. You were probably a little bit younger. It's weird hearing you say Ryback in elementary school.
like it was like I started watching it like heavy. Yeah, right when he debuted.
Yeah. I don't think I'm old. I'm still in my 20s. About one more year left, but I've never felt as old as you saying elementary school and Ryback in the same sentence.
He's just ahead of his time.
Yeah,
he's killing it early.
I've
always wondered who Ryback is for. Were you like all about Ryback back then?
Man, I was a big Ryback guy. Okay. Like, yeah. Once he lost to Mark Henry, I was so hurt. Like I was.
We have cracked the code.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, Ryback is a strange character, especially now that he's left WWE. He's like changed his name legally to Ryback, and he just
that has to take a special person to just be like, this is who I am now. Sorry, mom.
You almost have to like walk around with the DVD of like anytime you get like pulled over, it's like, yeah, my name's Ryback, but like here's the reason why you want to watch it. Awesome. So you watched wrestling kind of on and off growing up, and then you really got into it during what you call like the dark times. I think a lot of people probably agree with you. What caused you to make the jump to I want to do this?
So maybe like around middle school, I had took a little break, and then I picked it back up again around like when the Shield was just now breaking up. And then I don't know how I just stumbled across Kenny Omega versus Okada. And like right there, I was like, I want to do this. Like I have to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I got to do it.
That's really great. I have a little story with that match. Like I kind of stopped watching wrestling for probably like 2 or 3 years, and my buddy, it was the first Okada Omega match. I watched it with him, and I'm like, okay, I love everything about wrestling again, and I will follow these guys wherever they
Yeah.
go forever.
It was like I've never seen wrestling done that way, so it was like the most incredible hour-long match I've seen in my life.
It's like WWE is perfect for you when you're a kid, and then you like get to that age where it's almost like your dad like showing you like now this is real music. Like
Yeah.
you got all this stuff, but here's the real shit right here. So that's awesome.
So what's that process of you want to do this now, and once you're, I guess, the right age to do that, what's your process of, hey, this is where I want to do this? Are you doing a tryout at a school? Is it like, walk us through that process for, I guess, your story there.
So I always like said that during like once I hit like 14 or 13, I was like, I want to be a wrestler, and everybody in my house just thought I was bullshitting.
Yeah.
So then I did shoot wrestling back in high school. So like about around a year ago, I was like, yeah, I'm going to wrestling training. I'll see y'all later. And then I came back home. My dad was like, so what weight class you in? I'm like, I'm jumping off the top rope, pop. Like, but like I always knew since around that age, I was like, I'm gonna find a
Have
school.
you only been wrestling a year?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But, like, even to the point that, like, I'm pretty sure we saw you wrestle like as late as 10 months ago. Like,
Yeah.
I think the first time we saw you was at the first Let Wrestling Live show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
which that's I assumed at that point you've been doing it for like 2 or 3 years. That's
Nah,
crazy.
man. Yeah.
awesome. So you started with Firestar, right?
Yeah.
What's the process like of starting, like, because wrestling isn't like you've seen it on TV, but you get there your first day, you're running the ropes, you're taking bumps. What is the like initial like this is what I think it's gonna be versus what it actually was?
I thought everybody was gonna be just assholes. That's what
Yeah.
I like assumed from like Dark Side of the Ring and shit like
Yeah,
that.
that's fair.
But, like everybody was so nice and welcoming and like made friends just like that because it was the first time I've been around people that like actually like wrestling like I do.
Yeah.
So it was great. I made friends very fast.
Was because Firestar has a great reputation of just dishing out like guys who definitely know what they're doing, and it's like almost like there's a template of Firestar guys, and it's like
Mhm.
you know exactly what they can do going into it. What was the process like? Was it just in your wheelhouse, or at any point were you like, this is a lot, like this is not what I expected it to be?
I think I psyched myself out a little too much. So I was just ready to go off rip. Like I thought everybody was gonna be on the same type of timing that I was, like just trying to learn everything as fast as possible, being there every day as much as I can. But I was wrong because only like two people from my class me and somebody else has stayed from the
Oh wow.
class that I came in. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like I picked it up really quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. Was there a moment in your training where you're like, oh shit, like I feel like for me, like doing like a suplex or something would be like, oh shit, I'm a wrestler now, or kind of like what is the moment when you kind of like clicked, like I'm living out my dream. I think for me it might even be just like stepping in a ring and running the ropes, but
The first time is when we were doing walkthroughs the very first day, and we walked down the ramp. I was like, I'm the fucking man. I thought I was the best thing since sliced bread. And then the second day I came through, I wrestled around with LeBron, and it just felt so easy and natural that I was like, oh yeah, this is what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And
It especially to hit that so early on, and you just know so early on, and I mean, we've said it already in the interview, like with how young you are, like upside that, like that's
Yeah.
insane. Like you're already killing it. You're already doing multiple DPW shows, which is always kind of like what I use as the standard of like how a guy is doing in the North Carolina scene, at least. And like fact that you You're killing it, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
When you were walking down that ramp, was there a song playing in your head?
No, not yet. My heart was pounding. I was nervous. I thought about the trip down the ramp. That was a wreck.
Yeah. That's like a legit setup there he's got too, with like the
Mhm.
entrance. It's like back in the day kind of WCW or like early TNA vibes, like with the tunnels and everything.
Mhm.
It's awesome. So was your character always Manny or so Fly Manny Lo? And if so, what was the origin of that?
So my first wrestling name was Nike Jones.
Okay, that's
And
kind of
it was given to me by LeBron
Yeah.
because it was my first time for a practice match versus Oliver Sawyer. I didn't
Yeah.
have a name in mind, and I had a Nike shirt on, and he said, "That's your name, Nike Jones."
Awesome.
And that's what Chris Hero knows me as. So hey,
That's what
that's
so.
him.
How do you go from that to, I guess, the character or persona or whatever you want to call it? Like, how do you get from that character to who you are now? And is there a fundamental difference, or is it basically the same guy?
Uh, I would say it's way different now. Like
Yeah.
these past couple months have
Yeah, for
changed
sure.
a lot in my character, but like the first time I was thinking what I wanted to be as a wrestler, I was like, what would Andre 3000 be like as a wrestler?
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But then it trying to transition to like everybody thinking I'm J. Cole's. I got somebody said, "Are you J. Cole's nephew or something?" Because I came out to a J. Cole song. So
Yeah.
I kind of failed in the Andre 3000 department.
Yeah. Was your entrance music an Outcast or Andre song?
Not to begin with, because it was gonna be, and
Yeah.
then I I felt like I got pressured into changing it. Yeah.
What is the process like for picking a song? Because since I was a kid, I'm listening to music and I was like, this would be cool to walk out to. Like, it's always kind of in the back of my head. Did you have something like you wanted to do, or how did that work?
I was just trying to kind of feel the vibe of how I would actually walk down the
Mhm.
ring to, but like every time I tried to pick a song or like actively search, it wasn't working. I was like, I'm not coming out to this. It's not happening.
Yeah.
But then like if I just go through my shuffle, I'm like, yeah, I'm coming out to this. That's how I found my
Yeah.
song now.
I was
Yeah.
talking to one of the Carolina Coastal guys. There's probably like a year or two ago, Chad Carson, and I was talking to him about theme songs, and he was saying, "Oh, you have to have the beat has to drop, and
Yeah.
that's when you come out. Like that's a moment you need to have." And I'm like, "Do you though? Like I didn't know if there were like these unspoken rules about wrestling theme songs, but I guess it truly is if you're gonna vibe with it or not."
Yeah. Yeah, I just picked mine out of the blue. I clicked shuffle. I heard it and I was like, yeah, that's the one. And I just stuck with it ever since.
What is the theme song for those who don't know?
Ain't That Some Shit by J. Cole.
There
It's
you go.
on his Born Center album.
Nice.
That's solid. So what are your because like it's only over a year. What's your 2023 goal like in another year? What are some of those goal highlights and marks you definitely want to reach?
Right now I'm trying to just travel as much as possible, trying to get to the West Coast, trying to get up north, maybe Midwest. And I have a contact in Mexico now, and I might go and visit him.
That's awesome, dude.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
And you've had the opportunity over the past year to work AEW Dark twice. It seems like LeBron's got the hook up there.
Yeah.
What is it like in your first year of wrestling to be wrestling in front of a crowd like that against like the Workhorsemen and Bear Country, like two like pretty reputable teams?
It didn't feel real at all. Like ever since I was told I was going to when we drove down there, and then we went to inside the studios and we seen all this gold and AEW.
Yeah,
And then Jake the Snake walking right past us. I was like,
that's crazy.
this is a dream right now. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way.
How did like with your interactions like prior to the match? I'm sure you may have some familiarity with the Workhorsemen, like being
Mhm.
here in this area, but how does it work typically? Because those matches are typically shorter, meant to kind of put to like over the signed talent. But how does that process work?
Honestly, he asked us, "Is there one thing you want to do?" And then He said, "Yeah, we're just gonna whoop your ass the rest of the time," and that's how we went about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, with JD, he's so experienced. A
Yeah.
lot of that was on the fly.
It's awesome.
That's really cool.
Do you have any if you had to wrestle like anybody in AEW right now, who would you be your go-to?
Man, that's a tough choice. I'm not trying to pick the typical answer like Kenny or
Yeah.
Kesta, but that's my two people right there.
Yeah.
That's a match right there. Yeah.
Those guys are unreal. We've
Mm.
seen. Were you at the DPW show? I think where it was Takeshita versus Colby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like we got there a little early and saw them working out in the ring, and then we actually saw it on the actual match. It's just crazy what he can do. Just it seems so effortless. And
yeah, but between that match and the match he had with Andrew Everett
Mhm.
like months prior in DPW, it was just like, because that was my introduction to him. I
Yeah.
hadn't seen any of it, and then I'm like, oh, this is the greatest wrestler who has ever lived. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
He's like a superhero.
He's insane. Yeah, I thought Kota Ibushi was wild. He is.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you still like? Do you look at wrestling different now that you're doing it, or do you still kind of watch it as a fan?
I look at it different when I'm trying to figure out what would make me be successful, but like a lot of the time I'm still like watching Dynamite. Like I'm having a resurgence now. Like I used to not like Jeff Jarrett, but now I'm the biggest Jeff Jarrett fan.
I feel
I
that.
don't know where that came from.
Yeah.
But Slapnuts is the man all of a sudden.
Yeah, I feel like it's like this may be a reference that nobody in the world gets, but when I grew up, like my dad really liked Steely Dan, and I hated him. And now I love Steely Dan. They're like these two white dudes that are just like the funkiest, like soulful dudes, just like nerdiest looking dudes, but they really get it. So maybe one person will get that. But yeah, Jeff Jarrett now is
Jeff Jarrett. I did not like Jeff Jarrett for a long time because I started watching TNA in like 2011, 2012. And it's kind of like he's kind of on his way out. He starts off, he starts his new company, and it's just like, oh, this guy is the carniest, da, da, da. But
Yeah.
I never got to see him really compete. And like, I guess since his podcast, I like kind of listening to his perspective on things, and then his deal in AEW, I'm just like, oh, he's the man and works better than like anyone his age, I'd argue. Like he at such a high level.
It's crazy.
Like he probably one of the more underrated minds in the business, and he's the man.
Yeah, for some reason I just thought he was an asshole for like all these years.
I think I realized he was a genius after or during that Ric Flair match. Sadly, I had to watch that, but he was the man in that match.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was depressing.
That was rough. I remember we were watching it here, and at one point I turned to him and I was just like, this is just sad.
Yeah, it was really sad.
Like you hate for a guy to, if that, I hope that is his last match, but
yeah,
Jared and Lethal, like they really put like how we put that together with just the getting out of the ring, stall, just to find those moments so that Flair could go that long. And then Flair faked a heart attack, and it's no.
Yeah.
That was the craziest thing I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
Undertaker was pissed.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Speaking of Ric Flair, you kind of came in after he was done wrestling. So what was your introduction to Ric Flair, and kind of what are your thoughts? Like for me, it was like 2005. He was like towards the tail end of his career. So, but you really didn't get much at all.
My first time seeing Ric Flair was probably in TNA.
So yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So like maybe the Mankind or the Mick Foley match, and then the segments with Jay Lethal. It's the first time I seen Ric Flair.
Wow, that's kind of wild. Though that's fair though. Like given your I didn't, most of my Flair stuff came post retirement and me just going back to WCW stuff. So you brought up Lethal. Is there a bucket list of guys? I imagine for most guys, Lethal's on that list of just guys who are still working the independents, or maybe just guys on the independents that you definitely want to get in the ring with.
Yeah, Lethal's one of them. Dax Harwood, like Chris Bay, just a lot of people. Like I'm more starting to focus on the like the in betweens of wrestling, like not the moves, but like the what you do before the moves and after the moves and stuff like that. And I've just noticed it now, and it's like it makes a hell of a lot of difference. It's uncanny. And I feel like that's really next level stuff right there. And I'm trying to get to that level. And watching them is like it opens my eyes more.
Yeah, for sure. And I think from like even probably the first time we saw you at DPW to now, there's been like a clear change of
even
your
from
character.
like from one show to the next. The last DPW show, you come out with kind of a new look. You're kind of doing a new thing, and it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, this almost feels like a new guy. Like what's the biggest difference from I guess in the last few months? Like who is this version, and why is it so different?
I feel like when I was coming, I mean, I feel like I'm still coming in, but like I feel like I was way too focused on the moves and the wrestling aspects, and that took away from me trying to be an actual star. So I just want to have a new look, and like you see that picture in the corner right there. That was something wild that I came up with the week I had a dog collar match. I just was like, I need to wear something ridiculous because nobody else is doing it. I don't see nobody else wearing different clothes like 90s wrestling. Like I just purchased some a button up so I can look like The Rock. So I'm trying to bring that type of entertainment value back, but at the same time keep my in-ring wrestling that good too.
Yeah. Where do you find a shirt that says it says something about your mom's house, right? That one that you're wearing.
Yeah. Spencer? Nah. Hot Topic or Spencer's, I think.
So you just show up to the mall and you're just shirt hunting, be like, okay, I think I know what I want, but I really don't know. I'll know it when I see it.
Yeah.
So I didn't already had the shirt. So I bought it a while ago, and then I was like, I'm not wearing this nowhere. Let me just cut it up and wear cut up some jeans and see what it looks like.
That's rad.
It looks like Stevie, like on his last name in ECW, the Blue World Order.
Yeah,
top and
the blue
short,
meanie.
Yeah.
I've been told I look like
I'm
stealing Blue Minnie's look, and stealing Lodi's look too.
Yeah, I don't know about Lodi, but yeah. So for you, you said some of your like dream guys was Jay Lethal. Have you seen LeBron's match with Lethal on YouTube?
That was my first. That was my second show being at Firestar.
Wow.
Was his match.
That's
I watched that up close in person. Yeah,
that's crazy. Like, because they beat the shit out of each other. LeBron, like, I would hate to be on the end of anything he's throwing out, but I think when we started doing the match of the day, that was like the fourth one we ever did, and it was just a like, obviously he's like rooted in like creating the next round of people, but it's crazy that he's not on TV. Like
it's really nuts because, and I'm sure you know much better than we do, but like the fact that like he's training all these guys who are ending up on TV and that are at such a high level, and it's almost to the not detriment, but it's like he should also be on TV. Like it blows my mind. He is as good, if not better, than the guys he's bringing up.
Yeah, it is crazy. I feel like if he just took a break from it, he'd be on TV.
Yeah. He's everywhere.
His passion is training people and pumping out talent, and he does it really well.
Yeah, I don't think there's a track record in the Carolinas like him at all.
Yeah, I don't feel like nobody pumps as much talent as Firestar.
Yeah, I mean, there's like Creative Pro up north has a decent track record with like MJF and them, but he's like putting like all of these guys, like if he's a Firestar guy, like even like guys like yourself, like Grant Watts, like the guys that are coming up, like you know what you're gonna get from them, and it seems like you go in there and say, hey, this is what I want to do, and it's just like, okay, let's make it happen. Like there's somebody compared Grant Watts to Dean Malenko, and that's probably like you go to LeBron, he's like, okay, yeah, we'll do that because he's just the dude that can do it all.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had a match with him at all?
I was his first match.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we were both green as shit, and LeBron stuck us in the ring together with Ring of Sport rules. So
there you go.
He was like, "Y'all go out there and do something," and it was badass match, man. It was pretty impressive how new we were into it, and we could have a match that made sense.
And that's like, if I'm wrong, correct me, but it kind of closer to like blood sport style rules.
It's kind of like a old school World of Sport.
Okay.
So it has like rounds and
Okay,
like
yeah.
3-minute rounds and
like the thing they did on NXT a while back. Like
what they do.
It or something.
No. It's kind of it's from the 80, 90 era,
Yeah.
and
It's like British wrestling. That's how they used to, like Johnny Saint, Tiger Mask. When he was before he had the mask on, was over there. I can't think of names. I'm blanking
it's
right
more of
now.
like a competitive based.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I think that they did like a recent match on NXT where they did like the rounds, and
okay,
I think it was like Carmelo and maybe Wesley, but it was something like that. But that's really awesome. And then you also said that you've done that kind of match in your first year, and a dog collar match in your first year. What is a dog collar? It's just something we always ask if somebody's been in it. But what are your thoughts on a dog collar match, especially doing it that early in your career?
It is insane, and I don't know why I agreed to that bullshit. But it's one of my most proudest matches and one of the most funnest matches I've had in my career so far.
Who was it against?
Mad Dog Blake Brown.
oof,
Yeah, he's good.
the man.
Yeah.
What is the preparation going into that? Because there's different psychology. Obviously, there's a lot of different ways to build it. So how do you go into a match like that, preparation wise?
I mean, I like with everything I do, I pretty much psych myself out, expecting everything's gonna feel like shit, which it did. I watch matches like the Greg DeValentine versus Roddy Piper. That's probably the match that I pulled from the most, and then the rest was just like, what can I do to make this chain mean the most in this match?
Yeah.
So and I watched the FTR versus Briscoe's match.
That's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a, like, in the history of wrestling, a guy that you consistently, whether it's for promos, whether it's in ring, whether it's psychology, that you're pulling from the most in 2023?
I'm all around the place. I'm not gonna I can't say that I talk like The Rock, but I listen to him all the time. I feel like nobody can come close to what he did when he was doing it, because he was saying some wild shit.
Sure.
Wrestling wise, yeah, I watch older stuff just so I can pull stuff from back then to make it new again. But one guy, Cesaro, is who I've been pulling from recently. Yeah.
Awesome.
He's the man.
Are you going back old Ring of Honor stuff, WWE? Anything in particular with that?
Ring of Honor, old WCW, WWE. Yeah. Ruthless Aggression area, WWE.
Nice. Yeah. And then, like, kind of something I've always wondered, what goes into the preparation, like picking your finishing move? Is that something that kind of gets picked for you, or is that something you have a say in? And how did that go for you?
So my first finisher, I wanted to be a Gotch pile driver. But,
okay.
So I was told I was too young in my career to be using that, and everybody would think I'm a dangerous piece of shit. So after my first match and I did it, LeBron told me to never do that again. I've done it a couple more times after that, but I still feel like I don't have a finisher yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you? I feel like sometimes on the indies, like the finishers aren't like the end all be all either. Like, there's so many guys that we watch like every month that we like. I have no idea what their finisher is.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm trying to be regular somewhere enough to where I can figure that finishing move out.
Awesome.
So, what's that cheat meal? Once a week. What's that cheat meal?
Man, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I cheat a lot of times during the week.
That is such a regular thing we hear from guys, because I'm always curious, because like in the last 4 months I've been more into fitness and working out like 4 times a week. So I'm always eager at that part of it. But most of the guys are like, oh yeah, I cheat like 3-4 times a week, and I'm just like, what? That's crazy.
I'm terrible, man.
So What does
I
that mean
try to-
look like, though? Like ideally.
I try to watch what I eat, so I'm not like just like completely out of shape. But if I'm feeling like a fat ass and I feel like I just had the greatest match ever and I'm feeling on top of the world, first thing I'm doing is getting me a cheesecake, Oreo cheesecake from anywhere.
There you
If
go.
that Oreo cheesecake, that's where I'm going.
Like a whole cheesecake or just like a slice?
Maybe like 3 slices. Yeah.
Fair enough. Oreo cheesecake's good. Is that when you go to the Cheesecake Factory? Is that your go-to?
Yeah, but I have a place here in High Point. It's called Uncle Cheesecake.
Okay.
That's my shit right there.
So next time we're in High Point, we will hit that up.
Mhm.
I only have a few more questions left for you. One is, if you're trying to tell somebody this is So Fly Manny Lo, what is like just a quick like couple sentences as to who you are and what you want people to know about you?
I'm just a cocky ass kid that thinks he's on top of the world, which I'm still learning every day. But I feel like I'm trying to be a pretty boy, but it don't work out too well for me all the time.
Awesome. And then who are some of your peers that you think more people should know about?
You already mentioned them, my boy Grant. He needs to get booked more. My guy Oliver Sawyer.
Yeah.
That's my guy right there. Mad Dog Blade Brown. Man, I was gonna have a list. I know you was gonna put me on the spot like this.
There's no wrong answer.
I don't want to forget nobody. It's so many great
Yeah.
people I work with like every day. So yeah. I'm blanking right now, but
It's all good.
most of my Firestar guys, I love them. Yeah.
Awesome.
There
And
we go.
Are there anybody you think that shouldn't be booked, or anybody that you want to like let people know that just
nah.
we want this to build people up, but we also want to tear people down. So if there's anybody that you want to let hold it, this is your platform too.
Nah. I can't out nobody like that, man.
So we will see you this weekend, this Sunday in Durham at the DPW show.
Oh, speaking of that, yeah, Moss, you're a piece of shit. I'm about to beat your ass.
There it is.
Yeah. But yeah, you're gonna be at DPW. That'll be on Fire next Friday, probably, right?
Yeah, next Friday.
And have you ever been to the Durham Armory for a show?
No, this will be my
Oh,
first.
it's the best venue, dude.
It is so nice, dude.
Is that the dome one, kind of?
No, it's they've only done one show, is Showdown in the Carolinas, but it's like all brick exterior, looks like an old like high school gym, but like 10 times better.
Where Cruel almost killed that referee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
which I think is the match like that I put together as to why I would never miss a DPW show.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh my god, wrestling can be this. That's amazing.
Awesome. Well, everybody make sure you check out Manny at SoFly Manny _03. Is that everywhere?
Followers. Yeah, that is everywhere. That is
Okay.
Facebook, Twitter, MySpace.
Awesome.
MySpace?
Do you is that like a joke, or like is that something that you
I'm too young for that. That was a joke.
Yeah, that's what I was
yeah, I'd rather be like, I think that predates you by a little bit.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate your time tonight. Make sure you check out Manny on DPW coming up. And if you see him on a show nearby, stop and say hi. But yeah, we appreciate you coming on, and we've had a blast.
Thank you, man.
Awesome.